Welcome Internet to Psychoanalytic Talk, and today we're talking about the concept of joy, which was developed and explained by Kohut in his book The Restoration of the Self. Now, for reference, in my version of the book, which is the International University Press edition, it's page 45. But if you are looking for it, it's at the beginning of the book, basically. And this concept is interesting, the concept of joy, because for Kohut it's not just mere enjoyment. It goes beyond that. And even though he gives a quick definition, as it's basically in a few paragraphs on one page, it's still something that I wanted to talk about because it's very interesting to see how he feels and he defines joy. Because for him, his feeling as a clinician is that joy isn't just pleasure, and he makes a big difference between both. That even though pleasure can be in joy, it's two different things. For him, pleasure is a sensorial experience. For example, if I'm eating, it's pleasurable. If, for example, I am taking a shower, the hot water is enjoyable. If I'm swimming, for example, the water that I'm pushing away, that is sensory. It's enjoyable because the senses are there and are basically stimulated. But he says the joy goes beyond that. The joy is a fundamental experience of achievement. And this is where it becomes very interesting, because for him, this achievement isn't just, oh, I get something, or I have something, or I basically obtain something. It goes beyond that. What is happening is that the achievement is external, but internally the achievement makes the self more coherent, more full, more solid. In a way, it grows the self. And for him, this growth is incredibly important, because when we feel joy, what is happening in our minds is that there's a form of reconnection to what he calls genetic factors. So here, genetic is to be understood in this psychoanalytic / psychiatric sense of the term, that it's not genes in the body that he's talking about. It's about the history of the person. And in this history, joy has occurred before. And what he says is that joy occurs when the child achieves something, but it's something at the level of a child, right? We're not talking about an achievement on the path of an adult, right? Or on the same level as an adult. No, it's something much more humble. For example, if a child starts to be able to use their hands, to be able to put an object somewhere, to take an object, or something even more clinically observable is that when children start to walk, they are achieving a fundamental human function, and there's a moment of joy, because in that moment they are putting themselves into action. They are basically achieving a milestone in their development. And of course, the fact that the adult is there and cheers them on and congratulates them and is happy creates a sense of, I am happy. Therefore, that achievement is something that's going to solidify the self as something autonomous. It's something that's going to be very, very important and fundamental moving on, because all the joy is going to be built upon layers and layers and layers of achievement. And this, for Kohut, is where it's so important, because it goes beyond pleasure, which is something that's sensorial. Joy is achievement. Joy is, in a way, it doesn't say this, but this is how I explain it, is the product of successful agency. That something has happened, and there was basically a movement that was happy and that led to good results, and who basically made the child go further in their development, making them bigger in the sense of an adult, closer to an adult. And that is, for the Kohut, the core of joy. And what I found so interesting with this observation that Kohut, and this theory that Kohut brings, is that, for example, joy is something that's so very fundamental. And I find it very interesting that, for example, when patients, and this is like my observation, right, not Kohut's, but when patients can't feel joy, there is something that I think harkens back to this, that something inside of them isn't growing. That even though they're achieving something, they're not connecting this achievement to something in themselves. As though the two were separate, right? There is the external achievement, but there's no internal achievement. And that's something I've observed with people who struggle with the feeling of joy, that something in themselves is not united. Something in them is almost as if their achievements, their successes in life, which can be important, right, leave behind the internal sense of going forward. And often that joy is hurt in a myriad of ways because they can't enjoy the pleasure with someone else, they can't enjoy basically having what they have. Often there's a sense of loss or a sense of that they don't understand what is happening. In a way, it's as if they were cut off from a whole perspective of their experience. And I think that this is, and at least when I read Kohut, it made a lot of sense, because joy is a moment where the self is being integrated, where the self is achieving its own potency. And if it's unachieved, or if it's left as in a form of stasis, then there is no joy that can come of it, because what is happening is that things accumulate, yes, maybe, but they're not enjoyed, they're not experienced in a very fundamental way. So it's as if there was two versions of the same person, an internal version unable to take this moment of happiness on board, that always sees it as external, and an external person, or that doesn't really go beyond the achievement for achievement's sake. And I think that this is where it becomes important, is that one has to basically, in therapy at least, with these types of patients, reunite both of those experiences. Because it's important to see this as the inability to feel joy is detrimental, because then the patient might feel lost in their lives or not knowing what to do. And often this idea of the unity of the self is something that I find very interesting, because once we fundamentally unite the self, it becomes apparent that what was so sought out after was more what should be sought out after. That it's not about really what the person wanted, what their self was going to have to go through, or what really united them. It was more like they were under the how can I say, the power or the influence of societal pressures or parental pressures. Now, in Kohut's meta-psychology, what we could say is they were stuck in basically parental idealized imago, meaning that at the very core, they had to fulfill the perfect image that the parents wanted for them. In a way, they had to go for this grandiose self and parental image, in this bipolar self where they were not really themselves, but they were stuck in this dynamic. And joy, I think, is a way of going beyond this dynamic, to go and reach basically what Kohut calls transmutation, i.e. going beyond and being able to restore the self to something that is more akin to Freudian metapsychology of ego, id, superego. And I do think that joy contributes to that, in the sense that it's an experience that is so fundamental, because it opens up the happiness of growing, of achieving, and basically of living. Because without joy, life is very complicated. It's just a set of obstacles that repeat and that you outgrow or that you surpass. But there is no, at the core of happiness in that. Whereas if there is joy, you can, sorry for the lack of a better word, but enjoy the moment. You can enjoy your life, and you can also grieve it and say, I was happy, and for a time it was great and I loved it, and all those happy experiences help the person to grieve. And here I'm going a bit beyond this idea of joy, but you get what I mean. The joy opens up to other levels of renouncement, of grief, of the ability to basically manage one's sadness and one's aggression. Whereas if there is no joy, then everything is bitter. Its time has been wasted, time has been lost, time is moving on and I have no control over it. Therefore, and the self is still not united. Therefore, there's a fundamental form of bitterness in this factor of not being able to experience joy. And basically, I think this bitterness comes from the fact that the person feels broken or empty and unable to reunite multiple parts of themselves to a point where they can then achieve reunification and then, in a way, live their lives, experience their lives in a way that suits them. So I found Kohut's concept of joy to be very interesting, especially when he divides it off from solely pleasure. There is pleasure, but it goes beyond pleasure. So very, very interesting. And I also linked it to Winnicott's idea of the false self, because if you can't experience joy, then something is missing. And then it made me think of how in the false self, something of the true self is missing, or at least repressed in the sense of being pushed down, not in the Freudian sense. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, anything you would like to add or ask, feel free to do so in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.